Hello all and welcome to the Mug Life DIY. I am Julia and I am so excited that you decided to stop by my channel. And today I've got 3 projects for you, and it's going to be kind of a combination of projects. I've got this one will be a Dollar Tree DIY, and I really wanted to kind of challenge myself just to use what I had in my craft supply. So I didn't go out and buy anything. I just used what I had laying around, and I really had a lot of fun. I wanted to make some kind of wall decor for my youngest daughter's room, and her nursery was all mermaids, but I had really bright and vibrant colors, and I've kind of muted and toned down a lot of her, decor in her room, and I haven't painted it yet, but I knew I wanted to make her a little dangling rainbow. Those are just so adorable. I see them everywhere, and I thought this would be the perfect time to do that. So I took some of my jute twine, and this is the super thin Dollar Tree. I could tell the difference of the thickness, so to make it thicker, I just decided to just braid it, and I did a pretty long braid, not even realizing how long it was, and I decided to use this longest braid around the outside edge of my entire little rainbow. Now I did use some laying around foam board that I had, and today's video I am participating in my friend Fanny's channel, Creations by Favi, in her monthly Twine It Up challenge. I wanted to join this month because it's also one of my friend Jamie, and I just thought this would be a really fun challenge for me to join, and I hope you guys will enjoy the playlist, which I will have in my description box. And like always, I never quite know what I'm crafting. I kind of just have a rough idea in my brain. So I cut out the rainbow shape, not really entirely thinking how much twine I would actually need to fill this in. So I decided to paint it with some of my plaid paint, which I love this color. I will have it listed in my description box. It's very pale, almost mauve. I mean, I guess that's totally like 80s and 90s. I guess it would be more considered a blush color in today's terms, but I loved it. And I'm going to use some of this Dollar Tree macrame cord, which is a little bit thinner than the Nautical rope. And I believe it's a fairly new item. I just picked it up a few weeks ago, and this will be my first project to test it out and see how I liked it. And I just kind of wanted to thicken up the sides of my foam core. So I used that macrame rope and glued it all the way around the outside of my foam cord. And side note, if you have those little Dollar Tree silicone finger protectors, now would be the time to use them. I have mentioned to you guys before, I no longer have my craft room. We have separated all of our kids into their own rooms, so all of my craft supplies are in bins, and I have lost them. So I burnt myself probably 20 times while doing all of my projects today. So word to the wise, I always like to turn my words guys. I like to turn my glue gun off periodically, and it makes it a lower temp gun. Or if you actually have a low to medium temp gun, I would highly recommend it, since this is a project you will be using your fingertips a lot for. So then I just started to go in on the inside, and I just started to layer the different types of twine. I had the cotton twine, which is that white macrame cord, and it's so pretty. And then I layered that a few times, just gluing along the edge. Then I would use some of the jute twine to kind of give it a little bit of a neutral variation, but I just kind of started. I didn't really have an exact idea of how it would go. I just kind of started having fun with it. So I took a couple of my braided pieces and layered those inside and just had a lot of fun. So this project definitely is a creative hot mess, but I had so much fun making it, and I know you can have a lot of fun if you try something like this for yourself. Now, I initially started on the inside part and worked my way to the outer rims of the little rainbow shape, But then I was like, well, I don't want it to all be the same. So after I layered several layers, I began working on the outside. And I thought that would kind of give it a good balance. I'm not quite sure if I pulled it off or not, but I really do like how it ends up just being very eclectic and fun and very whimsical, and I know my daughter's going to enjoy it. So I'm going to be making several more just kind of aesthetically bohemian, and this kind of reminded me of a coastal coloration. So I went with some more little muted toned down mermaid, and you'll just have to see. But all of the items I will have listed down in my description box, but everything is either from the Dollar Tree or Walmart. But this project is entirely Dollar Tree. And as I was rambling and mentioned before, my daughter's nursery was a brighter kind of coloration of all mermaids and nautical themed. So I kind of wanted to stick with those ideas and those concepts, and I just began layering light colors. I love lace. I always have lace ribbon on hand, so I used one of my leftover rolls. I think it was about half a roll that I ended up using, and I just kind of layered the lace on top of each other, and it gave it kind of a ruffle effect, and I really liked the end result. Now, I did try to dye the yarn or the cotton twine, and it didn't work, probably because I muted with water. So word to the wise, if you're trying to dye it, definitely just go out and buy some dye. You know, hey, I tried. So I ended up just kind of painting it with that pale pink, and I just wanted a little bit of a pop of color right in the center, and I used my leftover macrame cord from that Dollar Tree roll, and I added 2 strips down at the bottom. Probably the longest part of this project was untwisting them. I'm only going to show you kind of one side, and after I untwisted both sides, I did brush it out a little bit with a dog hair brush, also from the Dollar Tree, but it didn't quite fluff out like I wanted it to. So I'm not quite sure if that is typical of all macrame cotton twine, but this didn't fluff as much as I wanted. So word to the wise, doesn't fluff. Now, project 2, I'm going to take a Dollar Tree tag, and these are fairly new. It's a smaller, but it is a super thick cardboard faux wood piece. Not quite sure what we're going to call that. And I just took some of my scrapbook paper. I bought this pack from, let's see, Michael's years ago, and I have used it for so many projects, and I love buying the large packs so that I can use them for multiple projects, and then they have a cohesive look. So I just kind of traced out my tag and even a little circle and just began cutting it out. Now, I was so happy that I did find my spritzing water bottle, which is right there, and I found my Mod Podge. Y'all know me. I love my Mod Podge. I'm a Mod Podge girl. I'm a fanatic. Now, word to the wise, you'll never have wrinkles if you spritz your paper. Spritz it with some water, then give a good coat. I did not do a thick enough coat right here. I did it too thin. So I am going to have to go back and add a little bit more because it dried so fast. So add more, but you know, it still works out amazing, and I still didn't have any wrinkles. Now, where would I be if I didn't use what I already made? Now, this little braided jute was left over from the first project, so I just reused it and kind of just shoved it through the hole and tied it in the back. And I just love the braided jute. It's probably one of my favorites. I do it in several of my projects, and I have more ideas to come, not in this video, but to come. And I just think that thicker braided twine on the tag has such a fun and eclectic look. So I was happy with how that turned out. Now, to add even more twine, because it is the Twine It Up challenge, I decided to draw a mermaid fin on my little tag, and just kind of freehanded, hey, what would, Ariel's fin look like if she was splashing out the water? Now, you could print something out with your Cricut, and that would also work amazing. Print it out with your printer if you don't feel comfortable sketching things out, but I just kind of sketched it out and it worked out great for me. Then I just began gluing all the way around with my thicker jute twine. Now this jute is actually from Walmart and it is a lot thicker. And you will notice when I do the inside of my mermaid's tail, I'm going to use the Dollar Tree thinner because it was easier to manipulate in a smaller space. Now I just bought a smaller glue gun that has a finer tip, but you know me, I forgot to buy the smaller glue sticks. So I still have to run back to Walmart or Target or Michael's and buy some smaller ones. But having a finer tip glue gun would have been so helpful when I was trying to do this project. So if you have a finer tipped glue gun, definitely would recommend doing that. Now on the inside, I just decided to use, as I said, the thinner jute twine, and you can kind of see even just the difference. And I just used what I had, the backside of a pin, to help glue it down because burns, y'all. They were for real. And I kind of just did a really fun squiggly pattern on the bottom part of the tail, and then I did more of a fish scale pattern on the bottom side. And if you are brand new to my channel, welcome. I'm so glad you decided to check me out, and I would love it if you would subscribe, like, comment. I love finding out which one of my projects are your favorites. And if you love all things Disney like me, you might have seen my Little Mermaid tattoo that is on my back shoulder. So I always enjoy making coastal and kind of fun and whimsical decor. So even after my daughter, if I change her room, again, because let's be for real, kids change their minds and she doesn't really have much options right now in her decor style, I will be able to keep these for my own personal use and decoration later on. And all I had to do to finish off this second project was I took my favorite Tim Holtz, you guys know, and edged around the corners. Now for our project 3, I actually found this palette sign at the thrift store on my favorite of all days, Military Mondays. So I paid $2 for this nice palette sign. It is really thick and super durable, and I was so excited to be able to flip this. I took also, this is a fairly new color, and I will have to look up what it is called, but I loved how it's kind of like a beach aqua, and it just screamed to me. So I decided to paint the entire palette with this color, just one coat, that's all I needed, and let that dry. And don't worry, I have had many of y'all say, oh my goodness, you're painting on your carpet. We will be replacing this flooring next year during tax season, which is what we did downstairs. So I am not fearful of getting paint, as you can see, on my floor. So I took this Dollar Tree Starfish and began using my thicker twine all the way around until I ran out of it, and then I had to use the Dollar Tree white nautical rope, which I believe I had like maybe half of a thing of that, so I used that on the inside, but I also didn't realize that I wasn't recording that, so you kind of miss out on how I glue it down. But it's the same way. I just kind of add a little bit of glue, push it down, and let that set. Glue, push it down, let it set. If you try to do more, your hot glue will dry on you, and you don't want that because then you'll have bumps and raises and it won't be level. So word to the wise, just do little portions at a time. Then I took my finished little starfish and just glued it to my little palette. And I wanted all of the decor to be really minimalistic and fun yet whimsical. And I found this little laying around starfish, also from an older project. And I just thought it added a fun little, layered effect. So I just glued that right to the center. And here is the starfish. I really love how all of them come together, and I can't wait to make more projects for my daughter's decor for her bedroom. And I hope you guys are inspired by all of these DIY twine it up crafts and home decor. I think everything is super fun and definitely could work for any kind of summer decor or any other little girl's bedroom. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys will enjoy, and let me know which one of these 3 projects is your favorite. Now, I did want to show you the difference. On the right hand side is the side that I brushed quite heavily with my little dog brush, and on the other side, the left side, I only detangled, so I can definitely tell a difference. Until next time, guys.